time for a fifth and final match with Green-White Hate Bears. This is fine. It's not great, but it's fine. This may be a hand where I get to aggressively Flicker Wisp a land. By a land, I mean an opponent's land on their upkeep with Restoration Angel. No, don't kill. Okay. Relic. What is my opponent playing if they have Relic? They're probably like some all-in red deck. Or a weird start at a black-red Eldrazi. Because Tron usually doesn't have a basic mountain. Okay. So this setup lets me get a basic if my opponent Blood Moons me. It's pretty bad if I get Pyroclasmed, but I don't think there's a lot I can do against. Oh, they could also be Scapeshift. Yep. So they are the hyper-aggressive Scapeshift deck that I recorded with the other week that the end top-aided Grand Prix Pittsburgh with. This card is not the best against them. Good. I get the Tectonic Edge this game. So I have two options here. I can Thalia plus leave up Tech Edge, or I can upkeep Resto, Flicker Wisp, and target the Stomping Ground. I like that play a lot more, on the basis that I think that the more flexible mana play is more important later. As is just getting the additional power into play. Okay. I don't really know what you're trying to accomplish there. I guess my deck could, in theory, have Tarmogoyf in it, but I generally think the odds of that are low. Ta-da! Build your own Deceiver Exarch. It's enough. Oh, sure. My opponent gets a draw card. That's fine. Yeah, that's one of the newer additions to this deck. Forget what event top or had this card or had this deck with this card in it in top 8. So if I go Tech Edge, play this. Can't relic, or I can't witness it because of relic, but that's life. If I remember correctly, that deck does not feature main deck Anger of the Gods. Even if it does, I'm not horrifically behind. Cool. I did a thing because I got to play Stone Rain. So anything that Stone Rain's my opponent's good. This card's good. This card's like not embarrassing because my opponent's on Scapeshift, but it's not great. This card's not good. So I got like 3-ish cards. I like this because it kills Colony Heart. I don't like this. Don't like those. This card's pretty poopy. Thalia's good. Scavenging Ooze. Consistently the worst. I do need to Path Titan sometimes. Is it possible that a creature with power and toughness is better than a Path to Exile here? But I guess I think that killing the Titan's more important. This looks about right. Sure, we'll give it a go. I don't feel like this matchup's exceptionally good for me. I just have some cards that line up very well. I don't like this hand, but if I draw one of my 6 cards or 5 cards that makes these Ghost Hoarders good, it's very good. I'll give it a go, but it's really unexciting. Definitely a matchup I wish I had more Arbiters for. Opponent's probably on a Scape Shift hand. Gives me a little more time. Not a lot, just a little. Do this so I can play the Flicker Wisp if I hit. Oh, I will hit because I have the Noble. Play the Resto, actually, next turn. This interaction, not so hot. Just specifically because I'm putting in mana into play with my thing that should be making Mana Vault levels of mana. Oh. This is the one. What am I going to do to get out of this? Arbiter. Witness. Think I'm just supposed to pass the turn? I'm threatened a Mind Sensor. Supposed to drop the Resto to minimize turns. I don't think Flicker Wisp really helps. Can increase the odds of me drawing Arbiter marginally. Oh, okay. I guess I'm not even dead to 7 Landscape Shift here. I think I'm just supposed to do this main phase. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to play the ooze. My opponent has 2 cards in hand. If they're land plus scape shift, I'm dead. But if it's just scape shift, I think I'm okay. Because I let scape shift resolve, and then I can flicker wisp. I have to do that first before my opponent potentially puts me down to 1. Just by, yeah. Yeah. So now they can only get 7 lands. So if they get 6 mountains and a Valakut. Oh, wait. I think I die, actually. I think I messed this up. So I'm pretty sure now. Yep. Control. Yep. I'm dead. I messed this up. I didn't realize. I didn't think about the Valakut triggering itself, adding another trigger that's not going to fall off if I don't exile this. So I was actually supposed to exile the Omen in response. I was thinking that. Yeah. I didn't think about it this way. Just in case I'm not thinking about this right, I'm pretty sure that each of the triggers kills me. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so yeah, if I exile that in response, my opponent gets 6 triggers. I go to 1. I guess I die to like any land after that point, but it's a little better. Yeah, Scavenger Ooze is just bad. Kitchen Finks might even be better. That's probably not true. Spellskite, I don't think matters. It does make my opponent like have an extra. I just don't go under 18 or 19. It's the same thing. Uh, gross. His hand doesn't have anything that interacts with my opponent. Good. This hand has cards that interact with my opponent. Oh, that makes mana. I can play. Yeah, I should just play Vial this turn. Because I can Vial in the Hierarch next turn. Can imagine Thalia is a big problem for my opponent if they don't have exactly Sakura Tribe Elder. My opponent does have Sakura Tribe Elder. It's a bit of an issue. His hand's very bad against Anger of the Gods, but my deck is also bad against Anger of the Gods to begin with, so. I have a chance to remedy my mistake. Yeah, just getting as much damage as possible here. I'm willing to accept defeat if my opponent has the completely non-stock Pyroclasm in their deck. However, I get to Aether Vial and Flicker Wisp on my opponent's next upkeep to keep them off anger for multiple turns, in theory. I guess, no, my opponent gets a ramp spell. Didn't think about that for a second. I was thinking my opponent would still be on 3 lands next turn. I don't know, we'll see. We will see. Might be able to take them... Oh, what is this? It's a Lightning Bolt? Rending Volley. Okay. Cool, that's not Pyroclasm. Well, that's dying to this right away. Actually, is there a reason to do it right away? I can get an extra damage if I don't do it right away, actually. Because I'm not going to be using the Ghost Quarter for mana, and then I can sack with the Ghost Quarter mana, and then get in the 2. So actually, I'm just supposed to wait on that. Oh, that's not right. Okay. Ooze is also now out of anger range, which is pretty clutch. It's not lethal immediately, but I'd like to crimp my opponent's ability to make extra mana this turn. In theory, they can play a green land, so I guess they can get a... they could, in theory, have a Titan ready next turn. But they'd have to kill my Flicker Wisp, otherwise they die? Is that right? Well, they have 2. Could have gotten a Cinderglade here. I can cast Resto, so there's no reason to add a counter here. I'd rather have instant Flicker Wisp. Oh, how lucky. What was I saying about that? No reason to not just gain the life immediately. I didn't think about it, but I actually could have Flicker Wisped the Sack Elder before blocks, before attacks and everything, but that puts my opponent at 1, so I don't really like that line. I actually think that upkeeping this... is that wrong? What's the worst that... I think I'm actually supposed to save the Flicker Wisp so I can push a Titan out of the way. Ending volley. Do that. Then I get flicker with my opponent's end step. That's fine. I think that this is right. I just go for the kill next turn. Let my opponent cast what they want to cast. I think I get slightly punished if it's a Baloth, but I find it hard to believe my opponent would want Baloth in this matchup. Whereas if my opponent had like Anger plus Sack Elder, they could actually survive this hit. Ta-da! Please leave. I did this on end step right. There was a moment where I thought I did it on my opponent's second main, and I just lost the game on the spot. I guess that is a reason to wait till my turn. I could, in theory, misclick. Yeah, that's for our no search land destruction deck against the all search and lands combo deck. It feels like this matchup should be better than it felt here, and that was way too close for my liking. If I don't draw that Flicker Wisp, I think I guess my opponent's forced to chump with the Titan. Then they have double Valakutes. They actually need another thing to get anywhere. Well, I'm going to let my opponent do what they want and potentially try to be the person who times us out. But I'll let everyone else go and, well, have fun. Just thinking through that last. Yeah, if my opponent chump blocks with the Titan, I have a 7 power ooze. So they need to make multiple mountains next turn. So they need another Titan or escape shift, which they could easily had.